Hi everybody, we're so excited that we're launching this channel. I'm Rowana.
I'm Janipher Padgett.
And I'm Zina Malcolm. So let's get to the point.
Ain't no need in starting or beating around the bush. Ain't no need in starting. Let's get to the point.
Hi everyone, my name is Zina Malcolm. I was born in hard-hit New Britain, Connecticut. I was raised in Pinnacle Heights, the projects. Hey, Pinnacle Heights. I have two siblings, two sisters. And it seemed like we were raised in separate houses. You know, I was always considered the black sheep of the family.
I'm Janipher Padgett. So, I was born in Hartford, Connecticut. And at the age of 2, I moved to Washington State with my mother and father because my father was stationed in Fort Lewis. He was in the Army.
As for myself, when things were just out of control, let me see. So I dropped out of school. I remember this guy I gave me and my friend like a 6 of Coke, and we went out and we sold it, and then we got money hungry. Then we started selling drugs, you know, like we would go up to New York and get the latest sneakers, and you couldn't tell us we wasn't them dudes. We swore we was gangsta. Yeah. We was about 14, 15 years old. And then we tampered with drugs, and that definitely didn't work out. We were in and out of jail. Let me speak for myself. Getting arrested, running from the police, getting busted in raids, and oh gosh, it was a disaster. I hate to even tell it, but yeah, that's what I was doing. And my mom it was kind of too late for her to reel me back in. I already had so much street on my feet. It was only going to take God to shut that down. I was around a lot of danger, stealing cars, and name one thing that I didn't do, and you're a good one.
Wow.
So,
that's something.
Yeah.
We all been through something.
Yeah, so, a lot of experimenting and bravery, I guess. I was just really wild. And like I said before, I ended up going back to school, and I learned the hard way that wasn't the way to go. That's what was going on when I was out of control. And my mom had passed away. My boyfriend of 12 years found out that he was cheating on me with a good friend of mine. And that brought me to a serious place of pain. So that was pretty much where I kind of threw in the towel. I couldn't live like that anymore. I started to reflect deeply on what was going on in my life. I was maturing. I had a 60-day sentence, and I just lay there on that bunk and just really thought about everything. I took a serious walk down memory lane. I was lucky to be alive, actually. What was born in me, I was born to parents that were, into the Lord. So I did have a concept of what living right was. And that was pretty much my turning point.
Wow.
But it was in a place of pain. How about you, Zina?
Like I said before, I did meet this young man in Jamaica, and I went down there for a week. We spent together, and I was gonna marry him. And as I said, that Wednesday, when I came back that following Wednesday, I was supposed to go back to marry him, but I couldn't get a ticket. I couldn't find find one anywhere. My sister even worked for the airlines, and she used to give me buddy tickets, and she couldn't find one. Friday, they killed him. They shot him. And I was heartbroken. I didn't know what to do. I was the last person he talked to. He called me that morning at 7:58. By 8 o'clock, he was dead.
Wow.
And so I said, I gotta get a ticket. Couldn't find one first time. My sister called me on Saturday after he done got murdered.
Right.
And said, I got a ticket. And I went into a deep depression. So then now I'm like, I'm really smoking. I'm smoking, didn't care about nothing. My son was raising himself at 5 years old.
Yeah.
Girl, then I was my son was in school. I came home from work. It was a Friday night. I bought $40 worth of Kush, 5 blunts, a bag of cigarettes, ran me a bath water. My son would be home at 4 o'clock. I had time to just relax. So I ran me some bath water, got in that water, lit me a cigarette, put it in the ashtray, rolled me a blunt, took a puff. I heard, that's a sin. So I'm like, I'm the only one in this house. I get out of the tub. I walk through the house to see if there's someone in the house. And I didn't see nobody. So I went back to the bathroom, got in the tub again. And I said, that's a sin. And for some reason, I didn't know God at this time. But he was talking to me, and I was talking back. I was trying to, make some deals. Give me until Monday. That's it. I won't smoke no more. Because I don't compromise. I said, okay, give me. Let me sell this, not even sell it. Give it to my friend Elizabeth. She will appreciate it. That's a sin. I said, okay, let me get my $40 back. Let me go back and get my $40. I can sell it. That's a sin. I said, okay, what you want me to do with it? He said, flush it. And you sit there and you go, like it hurt. Somebody tell you to flush it. No. So I said, okay. Put the weed, the plastic bag, the weed, everything. The cigarettes, the 5 blunts I broke up, put in the toilet. I had one lit. And I just put it in the toilet. I flushed it. Girl, it came back up. My initial reaction was, reach down and get it. He said, flush it again. I said, okay. I flushed it again. I haven't smoked since. It didn't come back up. So I didn't smoke no more. I didn't have no taste. I can't even smell it today. People can smoke around me. I can't smell it or taste it. But as a sinner, I knew that was God's voice.
Yeah.
And I've been clean, saved ever since.
Hold on. I have a similar situation. Now that you bring that up, you bring me back to a place. When I got out of jail, I actually went to a shelter. I didn't go to sister, brother, aunt, uncle, which I could have. I was like, nah, I'm going to rough this out. I got it. I'm good. I went to a shelter. I was standing on the balcony and I was smoking. And I heard a little whisper say, God breathed the breath of life into Adam. I said, and I just threw it over the balcony. It just flew out my hand. Like, I felt like, I don't know. Let me tell you something. He said it once, but it played in my head so many times.
He said it once, twice he heard it.
It was so, like the word of God, when he speaks, it's so sharp and powerful.
And it was not even a judgmental voice.
It wasn't. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful and so gentle, yet so powerful.
Can you imagine?
And I wasn't even thinking about the Lord. I had a concept, but I wasn't even there yet.
See, you had a concept. I didn't know it. I wasn't raised. I didn't know I didn't know the Bible. I couldn't tell you nothing. And I'm like, okay.
But that was the beginning of I would pray. I kind of try to pray myself through my pain. Like, help me, God. Like, I couldn't believe my mom was dead. I just couldn't wrap my brain around it.
And why you say that is kind of funny. It's not funny, but it makes sense. When my mother was dying, see, I didn't have a close relationship with my mother.
Yeah.
But when she was on her hospital bed, I went in and asked her for forgiveness.
Yeah.
When I had not envy, but a little strife against her because of the way I was raised. Mm-hmm. So I said, "Mom, forgive me for whatever I did." It's not weird because I wouldn't know.
You had to get that off you.
But I didn't know. Mm-hmm. I really.
It's like, just like a child of God.
Didn't even know. Isn't that something? What about you, Jen?
Yeah. What made you throw in the towel?
Well, again, I constantly stayed in a state of depressed times. I would kind of come in and out of it. Boyfriend after boyfriend. But after a while, I got tired of that.
Right.
I got tired of being used. And one day I was so down, and I can still remember it just like it was yesterday. In Dutch Point, we had a church, the Good Shepherd Church. It's still there on Willis Street in Hartford, Connecticut. And I went and sat out in the churchyard, and my mind was turning. I couldn't shut my brain off. But out there I began to surrender.
Yeah.
And I began to, to just talk to the Lord by myself. I just began to cry out to Him. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was giving my heart to Jesus. And my grandmother, she would take me to church from time to time. And so one day I just finally went to church. I was 18 years old, and I gave my life back to Christ. I threw in the towel.
Look at that.
I gave it all up.
All right. Threw in the towel. Mm-hmm. Hey, hallelujah.
Well, you know how the old folks say, you should have been dead and gone.
Should have been.
Should have been sleeping in my grave.
Hey. In my grave.
But he made old death behave.
Listen.
He tried to take my mind.
It made dry bones live in me.
Yes.
I might have been out there with them bones.
Yeah, I would have never, ever imagined me being, not knowing God. My mother took us to church for Christmas, Easter. Got your nice clothes on. Didn't know what you're going for.
You know how that goes.
Didn't know what you're going for. But I'm happy at this stage and point in my life. I'm glad
I love this time of my life. I do. As far as I'm concerned, it's so beautiful and peaceful and just righteous. That's right. And I think about some stuff and I'm like, oh my goodness, I used to do that,
girl.
I'm like, oh my God, please don't. It just doesn't seem real.
It makes me upset when people go, no, it didn't work for me. My God is strong and mighty and powerful because He did a lot of things for me. Can you just imagine somebody like me, didn't know Him, hopping in and out of cars, sleeping, whatever. I could have had AIDS.
My God.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Mm-hmm. And if I did have AIDS, He cured me from it before I even knew I had anything. Mm-hmm. That's how I've been thinking lately.
Yeah.
I could have been dying. Didn't even know it.
Yeah.
You got AIDS. But my God said, no, you don't.
All right.
Yeah. Good going, girls.
Well, that concludes our first introductory podcast. We're sure you'll enjoy future podcasts as we're going to have a plethora of topics. Thanks for listening. On to the point.